ing. He's so good at teaching. I love math.
What? A rule that assigns to every element in D a unique element in R. Okay, what does that mean? Draw a definition. This is a map. Let's draw a map. I don't remember my biology. Some kind of cell. I don't know. Jelly bean. Doesn't matter. And a fancy way of saying X values are domain or range? Domain. That's what the D stands for up there. And what do you think this one's going to be? The Y. And this represents the range. What is a function? A function is from set D. Let's just say I call this one this x2 to set R. So we're going over here. That's the rule, right? It's assigning from 1 to 1. Everyone say 1 to 1. Let's call this one x1. What do you think is going to happen? y1. Okay, this is going to get tricky now. x3, x4. But they're going to go to the same element over here. Okay, this is what you're. If you're going to become a computer engineer, do it. Make a lot of money. Here's my real life example. When you want to take a picture with your phone, there's many ways of actually opening up the camera app itself, right? You could unlock your phone and then click on the app button and then it opens your camera, right? Or, I don't know, mine, I would have to kind of like put my face in front. Well, mine's not like that. You put your face in front to unlock your phone, and then you swipe up and you press the camera. Does that make sense? There's multiple ways to get to the camera app. So this here would represent a function. This is a function. And this is called a map or mapping. Okay? Now, let's do the same thing. Jelly bean. We're jelly bean. x2 to win y2. Okay, maybe you have something like an x4, like an ordered pair. Does that make sense? This is just saying this is a fourth order pair. Right, this kind of makes sense. You click on the photo app and it brings you to all your photos. You pinch the screen, and what does it do? You pinch a screen, your smartphone, what happens? You're zooming in. Does this make sense? But let's say you get kind of crazy. Let's say you, we'll call this one Y3. Let's say you press the power button. What should it do, class? It turns on. What would happen if you press the home button? Don't you want it to go home? But what happens if it turns your phone off? You should fix your phone. You see, this is where those are called bugs. You know, Apple will pay you literally millions of dollars if you can figure out viruses for them. It's weird, like you have to do the opposite. You actually figure out a hole into their software, and then they'll pay you to figure out how to stop it. So here, this one does not represent a function. Not a function. And the reason why it's not a function is because you're going from kind of like, you kind of don't want it to do, what do we have here? Oh, I forgot a line. That was the one I missed. This one's okay, right? Maybe you want to turn off your screen. Maybe there's multiple ways of turning off your screen. But this one we were missing. Okay. What would happen if you pressed volume up? What do you expect it to do? You want the volume to go up. If you press volume up on your phone, do you want it to send all your pictures to your best friend? That would be a bad thing, right? You're like, oh, this phone's not working. It's malfunctioning. This would be an example of not a function because you can have one x value to the same y value, but you can't have one x value to two different y values. And there we would say it's not one-to-one. What is function notation? Well, we know this. An easy way of saying the vertical axis is called the, which axis? The y-axis. But a fancy way of saying y is, okay, we know it to be the range or dependent, but the notation I'm looking for, function notation, or f of x. And that's how we say it. There's two ways of saying this. You can say y equals f of x. Another way that you can say this is the value of f. What does f stand for, class? Function. The value of a function at x. So that is function notation. All right, so let's make sense of this. F of 3 equals 7. What is your x value? The x value is actually in the inside there. And your y value is 7. F of 2 equals 7. What's the order pair? 2, 7. Okay. I'm going to give you guys another set of order pairs. And I want you to tell me in both the orange and the blue, is it a function? And it's going to go off my screen. Let's say -3. Okay, so with your partner, when I say the word go, you're going to, partner A, graph the blue one and talk about it. Is it a function? And then partner B, lead your graphing of it and then tell me if it's a function or not. Okay? Ready, set, go. 2, 7. Right 2, up 7. So those are my 2 points. Is it 1-to-1? Yeah, so this is a function, not a function. This is a function. For every x value, I get 1 y value. Now, pay attention. It is okay that our y values are exactly the same. Do you see it right here? That was this one right here. Does that make sense? I can open the camera in this way, or I can open the camera in this way. It's okay. It opens the camera. I'm super happy. Let's look at the next one. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I can't count. 3. Oh, it's supposed to be here. Not there. Thanks, Jesse. But it's still a function. Yes? Okay. 1, 3. 1, -3. Oh, that looks kind of weird. You can kind of do this. Function or not a function? Not a function, right? The reason why is when I press the power button, I want the phone to turn off. I don't want it to send all my money to my brother. That would not. He would be happy. I wouldn't be happy. Does that make sense? Okay. So now let's get to a cheesy way of testing it. Talk to your partner 5 seconds. What's the test called? Yeah, wow. I'm going to have to teach you. How can you test for a function? Now, it is important. It's not just a line test. What kind of line will I be using? Okay, a vertical. And the reason why it has to be vertical, because guess what? What's the other direction? There is in this class, there will be an application of a horizontal line test. So vertical line test. Vertical line test. Let me show you how it works. If you put your pen down vertically and you go to a point, if it only goes through the vertical line once, then it passes. Passes, passes. This is a function. But if I come over here, does it go through once? No, it doesn't go through once. It goes through twice. So therefore it fails the vertical line test. Therefore it is not a function. So it goes through once, pass, pass, fail. Does that make sense? And that's just a quick way. But the best definition is we would say this is not one-to-one. Let me show you the mapping. A better way of the mapping. This might kind of make sense to you. There is one x equals 1, but it goes to two different things, 3 and -3. Over here, this is okay. It doesn't matter if you put an x value of 3 and you get a y value of 7, or you put an x value of 2 and you get 7. This would still represent a function. Okay. You go. I recommend going left to right because we'll be using that later today as well. Class, if I stop here on the blue, does it pass or fail? Passes. How about here? Passes. How about right there? Although it looks like it fails, we're hoping that this is a parabola, a quadratic function, therefore it passes. If it passes the vertical line test, then it is a function. Because functions are fun. Pay attention. Here. Pass or fail. Yeah, if I touch just at this point right there, it passes. So right there it is a function. Here, there it's going to fail because it goes through 2 points. Function, not function? Not fun. Not function. Now, this might help us later in second semester. If I know that this point is a function, maybe I can restrict the x values or restrict the domain just to look at this particular area to kind of force it to be a function. Alright, raise your hand, function. Raise your hand, not a function. Pass or fail? Pass or fail? Pass or fail? Oh. You see, on the previous graphs, I didn't have open or closed circles. But this particular location, it's a closed circle. A closed circle means count it, include it. It's a solution. It makes our equation true. Here's something you may have not been taught. Every point on a graph is actually a closed circle. This means at this particular location, is this order pair a solution? No, you don't include it. But right here is a closed circle. That means it is a solution. Pass or fail? Passes. It's only touching my vertical line test. It's only touching here. The open circle says it's not there. So this is a function. We'll learn later on this is called a piecewise function. So 3 examples of when it is a function and not a function. That was just a quick example of using the
I love math. You don't love math? What's wrong with you? I love math.
Mr. Math Ing. He's so good at teaching. I love math.
What?